Welcome to Half Full and a Cup of Joe with Joe Fulford, the show that's always overflowing with optimism and caffeine. Joe's got his game face on and his coffee cup full, ready to dive into the world of football. From the Florida Gators to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and beyond to college and NFL football, Joe's got the analysis, the insights, and the passion to get you pumped up and ready for the game. So sit back, relax, and fill up your cup with Joe. And now from West Des Moines, Iowa, here is Joe Fulford.
Wow. Well, what a tough week that has been. Some mostly good, but there's some bad, and I think we'll get into a little bit of discussion about that tonight. And we'll also talk about what's happening with the Pewter Power Boys, 3-0 on the year. And they've done something that no team has ever done in the National Football League. And we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. I'm glad you could be with me tonight. You're surely Joe the Animal with you on Half Full and Cup of Joe. You're watching either on YouTube, Facebook, or on X. Be sure to look me up on my account and ask questions if you want to. You're more than happy to. And I think we got a pretty interesting show tonight. Ron Browne of SEC Inside is going to join me a little bit later on. Join me in just a little bit, I should say, along with Loren Meadows joining me as well. And talk about the events that have happened and not have happened. So when you want to sit back and have a good time. So what a disaster. I mean, there's no other way to put it. At some point, I have been you know me, I've been a Napier supporter from day one. I have supported the man, and I thought that he really would really was going to be able to turn it around. But now it's become a situation where it's all about his ego. I mean, that is really what has happened here. Okay? Because when you stop and think about it, I mean, it's like he had substantial opportunities. We're talking about Billy Napier. He had substantial opportunities to pull DJ Lagway out, but he kept him in there, and look, Miami's defense, they came to play. And they really came to play, made our offensive line not look very good. Definitely a setback for Jake Slaughter and company. Although I gotta say, the Austin Barber, I believe it was Austin Barber, made one heck of a hit, made one heck of a play during the course of that game. And other than that, it was not the game that we wanted. Let's see here. As I look back here, hang on just a minute here, please. I'm going to bring it up. I don't know why that's up. Okay. I'm looking at some stuff here, so just give me a minute. Yeah, final score in the game on Saturday, 26-7, I believe it was. Gators were only able to get 7 points in the second quarter. It was not. It was just a horrible game, and I'm going to bring up the Bucks. The Bucks will give you some stats from the game, and they're not very and they're not very pretty. DJ Lagway, 12 of 23 for 61 yards. He was sacked 4 times in the game. I mean, this offensive line was not able to hold Miami. I mean, it really was just a horrible time for them. Jaden Ball, 12 carries, 51 yards. He did score the lone touchdown in the game. Now, defensively, uh, they did their job. Defensively, they did their job. They held Carson back to 17 of 30 for 160 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. They sacked him 1 time, and they held the running game to 184 yards. But it was Shamar Browne, a Miami show. He had 2 touchdowns on the day, and Mark Fletcher Jr., he added another one to coincide the victory. But nevertheless, it was really one of those games where it was not pretty. It was horrible. It was not one of the best games that we have seen in a while. And now, they go back to the drawing board. We find out now that DJ Lagway's in a boot. He should be ready for Texas when they take him on next week. But still, he's in a boot, so he's not going to. Unfortunately, that they're not going to be practicing this week. You're truly the animal with you on this edition of Half Full Cup of Joe. Ron Browne and Loren Meadows are going to join me here in just a little bit. But what else that needs to be said from the game? Just a horrible night. And, there were times where this team was not in sync at all. And DJ Lagway was not in sync at all. And I have been saying, for Billy Napier, I've been saying, I've been trying to let it be known. Look, for Billy Napier, he thinks about himself. He doesn't think about the team around him. And that was never more evident than what we saw Saturday night down in Miami. And I used to be a Napier supporter. I really was with him, but what happened Saturday night told me that Billy is worried about him than he is with this team. And I would tell you right now, if this team had been coached, say, by say, John Gruden or Nick Saban, or even Mike Gundy, who, by the way, got fired at Oklahoma State early in the week, if that quarterback been playing that way, you bet your bottom dollar that that coach would sit that quarterback's ass down and put in the backup. In this case, we're talking about Tramell Jones. That's what should have happened. The hell with DJ and whatever you have going with him, side deal or anything like that. Your job as a coach, is to win. Remember what we always say: you play to win the game. You don't play to support your quarterback. You play to win the game. And granted, I like what DJ Lagway was saying a little bit after the game, that we're done messing around and we're ready to get to work. You should have been doing that the first game of the year. You don't wait. You do it the first game of the year. And what Billy Napier showed me the other night was that he was more worried about his team, worried about his team than worried about trying to win a ball game. Florida could have won. Florida had some great opportunities to make some really good progress, but they failed to. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And my faith in Billy Napier has just got just like that. Kind of like watching a Loren Meadows Netflix film. Only he's not the star, but he's a backup. Hopefully he didn't hear me say that because he's in the studio right now. So, and there he is. Hey, Loren, how you doing, buddy?
You just better be glad I know who I am and what I am. That's all I'm
saying. There you go. And you
but I heard you, man. And go ahead.
Am I right or am I wrong in what I was saying here? I mean,
I'm gonna say you're wrong, and here's the reason why.
Whoa!
You could switch quarterbacks.
Hang on a second.
Hang on a second. Hold on.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me have Ron Browne into this because Ron Browne joins us also here on Half Full and Cup of Joe. I don't know how much you heard of my rant, but I was saying I'm about this close to losing my support for Billy Napier, but
it's not about support. It's about truth. And let's talk about some truths. And Rob heard this on Tuesday. The truth was Billy Napier was never told to hire an offensive coordinator, nor did he ever say he was going to. But if you say, hey, hire an offensive coordinator, well, who? Give me a name. I'll wait. Who should he have hired? And then people say, well, anybody. Okay, I'll go with that. But right now, DJ Lagway won the job. He is the best quarterback for this position. And you can switch quarterbacks, but it's the same system. You're going to have the same predictability. You're going to have the same bad personnel groupings. You're going to have all the things that exist. Tramel Jones is not going to come out to 5 wide receivers and 10 personnel. It's still going to be the 12 personnel. You're going to still have the motion that goes which way and is fruitless. You're going to have the same offensive line that's underperforming. And now you take a freshman who's never been in the wood chipper and you throw him in. Billy Napier is responsible for the regression of DJ Lagway. And all of a sudden, DJ Lagway has become the co-conspirator in this thing. And you're talking about a 20-year-old young man who's on start number 12, Rob, I think. So, his 12 start.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This system is not conducive. When have you ever seen an offensive system, Rob, in the passing game, and the only quick game they throw is slants versus press coverage? I mean, they never spread people out. They never get in trips, and the only bunch is with we talked about it on my show. You play 2 tight ends because you think you have some matchups. Well, they don't have that. So people trying to say, well, they need to make a change at quarterback. Wow. You go a year ahead. So when everybody was clamoring for Lagway instead of Mertz, and we were saying Mertz is the best quarterback, he won the job. Now Mertz gets hurt. Here comes Lagway. He's playing well. I don't see why Tramel Jones, unless you want to just get a young man a little experience, but it is not going to get better. Pro Football Focus, and if you put stock in that, you don't. They had one guy get a pass blocking grade of over 40%, and that was Jake Slaughter. They had 2 people come up goose egg.
Yeah.
You can't win football games that way. So it's a bigger – see, if you truly understand football, and we talked about this, it's 11 guys. 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, and special teams. They have failed at every level of this thing. and you got 100 people with a Jordan shirt on who I'm sure are good at marketing. AI, I don't even know why they have AI, but somebody had to explain that to me, but they hired a guy for AI. But of all that, it has not led to winning football games. And the first press conference, Billy Napier, an army of people. You're right. He's got an army, but that made it seem like this was going to be different. The football has gotten worse in 4 years. It is not better. But taking this young man and saying that it's his fault, you can't say Billy needs to hire an offensive coordinator. We need to run a different system, but we need to switch quarterbacks as well. I can only go with what I'm taught and what I'm using. Lagway obviously doesn't have the right to change the plays or anything like that. So using Lagway, I think people need to take Lagway out of the equation, because it's like asking somebody to color with pencils with no lead.
Come on.
You know, it's to me, when you're going backwards in your fourth year, it's not going to work. I mean, how many times do you have to keep making the same mistake to realize what you're doing is not working? I mean, I was wrong. You know, I say it every time I'm on your show.
Me too.
My name, Rob, R-O-B, Browne, B-R-O-W-N-E. It's Rob. And I'm telling you, this is not working. And Brendan, Martin, and Loren have been steadfast, and they're not being negative. They're just seeing it as they see it, and they know football.
Yeah.
And you've got a quarterback, and Pete Cordelli and Ellis Johnson, two coaches that have national championship rings. They're on our Monday morning show, Sideline Sports, at 8 Central on our channel. And Pete said that Lagway got hurt. He talked about it on the show Monday morning in the training room this summer. And I know Loren and Brendan have been just asking, what's going on? This isn't adding up. And like Pete and Roman Harper was on our show this morning. Roman said, you know, he's been maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and this is what you get. You realize how much football, y'all know this. He's missed. It's like you missed class until the last week and a half before the final exam. You missed the entire semester, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
And the teacher,
Great point.
I mean, this is what happens. And you look at the product, and, you know, you hear the term, you know, Miami could still Cristobal, kind of like Dabo saying Clemsoning. But, man, that game Saturday against Miami, it was still – the defense is playing their butts off.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
But again, when your quarterback has missed so much work, he's behind everybody else, and he's taking everybody down with him. He's a hell of a talent, but you when you miss that much work, and because of the portal and NIL, it's hard to keep a real quality backup around. And here's what happens. You're seeing it. Look, he's getting twice. He's going to get 4 years maybe. Gus got 8 years at Auburn, but I saw this. I'm turning the offense over. I heard it from Gus. Chip Lindsey, Rhett Lashley. They're just people for him to throw under the bus.
But he never said that, Rob. That's the thing. We go to these press conferences.
I know.
It was and what incenses me is, and I'm not gonna call anybody's shows out, because there were several shows that were reporting that Billy had told recruits that he was going to hire an offensive coordinator. Not true. Said he was going to hire an offensive coordinator. Not true. The AD told him. So Scott Strickland, who knows very little about X and O's, walked into Billy's office and said, "You're going to hire an offensive coordinator." Be real, man. Be real. Yeah. And this team has far more problems than offensive coordinator. Yeah. An offensive coordinator does not. Agree. I'm sick of hearing offensive coordinator. I swear. I'm gonna go on Buddy's show tonight. If I hear offensive coordinator, I'm gonna lose it. I'm sick of hearing offensive coordinator. This has been a failure. It's been a failure in public relations. It's been a failure in fan engagement. It's been a failure in just everything that you might be able to build some equity with. It's been a failure in transparency, all of these things. And what Billy Napier has failed to do to me, in my opinion, is say to himself, you know what? I better build up some goodwill in these off seasons. I better get out, not just talking to quarterback clubs, because that's what all coaches do.
Yeah.
But I better get out amongst the people. I better show up at women's basketball and shake hands. I better build up some goodwill, open some practices, let the media in. I mean, we see the same 15 minutes, the same period over and over again. Maybe open up inside run and 11 on 11 to the media instead of routes on air and stretching. All of these things could build you some goodwill and maybe allow some of us that actually know football the ability to defend you some, because we've seen it. There is nothing there. And you know, this is the new thing. And from what I understand, I got to get clarification. I think Miami had full open practices to the media in the spring. Full practices. Didn't hurt them much, right? No. And my thing is, Billy, what are you hiding? The 120th best offense in the country? What are you hiding?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why this thing is over. I like Billy Napier. I think he's a great guy, but somebody told him wrong. And whoever he got this from, and maybe it was Saban, the difference is Saban got 7 of them things. You can do certain things when you're winning. When you're losing, you better figure out some things.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I didn't want to come across saying that Lagway should be replaced. But my point about it is that, you know, this team was struggling. They weren't doing anything. You know, they weren't making any progress. Why not put a Trammell Jones in there? Why not try and
you're gonna change the left tackle, you're gonna change the left guard, you're gonna change the center, you're gonna change the right side is awful.
So I understand. I understand what you're getting at. It's just like that, you know, at some point you say to yourself, you know, try something different.
Yeah, change the offense. They had for instance, give you a perfect example. Buddy Martin's book. He writes during the off week, Rob, and I'm sure you've read the book, Urban's Way. They go in and Steve Adazio comes in to Urban and says, we can't keep doing it this way. Got to get a fullback. We got to change some things up. So they've had this off week. They've had other off weeks. Why wouldn't you say to yourself, okay, we've been in this for a while. Why don't we try 4 wide receivers and see how it works out? Why don't we try some of the things that we got Steve Spurrier Jr. on our staff? Why don't we do some Mike Leach stuff, some air raid stuff, and see if it'll work? You have the option to do that stuff, and you don't. The stuff that Russ Callaway was doing at when he scored almost 50 on the Dan Mullen team. Why don't you do some of that stuff that they were doing? You know, at what's the place, Samford. Why don't you do that? But no, they don't. They keep doing the same old thing. And the fact that DJ Lagway is being, and take Lagway out of it, the fact it just ain't working. And I don't understand why you could have changed, you could have adjusted. You want to call plays, call plays. That ain't the issue. The issue is that collectively, from special teams to historically bad wins, historically bad offense, historically bad defense. That's it.
I agree. I agree. I think that it's about ready to be over. But you know, Rob, I just don't understand why Napier doesn't. You know, he sees that this thing is not working. Why not try something different? Why not try and like what Lauren's been talking about, mixing things up? It's like this guy is so stubborn. He's going to live and die by his offense, plain and simple.
Well, I mean, look what's happened to Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State.
Woo!
Okay, look what's happening. No, Dabo. They can't afford to get rid of Dabo at Clemson with a $60 million buyout, $11.2 million salary. I think, nostalgia and all that stuff. The Athletic had a good article this week. Gets you nothing. It doesn't. People don't care. You got to win, and you can't be stubborn. Everybody likes Billy Napier. He's a good guy from all accounts, but that's a separate category. It's like what's going on with football, and just covering the SEC and talking to people from all 16 schools every week that cover these schools. Florida not winning in football, there's really no excuse for it.
No.
And I don't know what that noise is.
That's you? That ain't me.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's
that me?
Washing machine or something going on. I don't know what it is. But
hold on. Let me see if it's me. Hold on. No, it ain't me.
Yeah. Do you hear anything?
Not me.
Hold on. Let me
mute my mic. Let me mute my mic while you guys talk.
Yeah. Lauren, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
It must be on your side, Adam.
Yeah, it's animal. It's something. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. But looking at it, Billy Napier, if you saw what Ryan Day did at Ohio State, he relinquished control and saved his job and got a national championship. Now, it helped that he had a massive amount of money north of, I don't know, $25, $30 million. That helps. But Billy Napier, the roster, the two best rosters in the SEC, which are like two of the top three in the country, are Georgia and Alabama. The third best roster in the SEC, I believe, is Florida.
Yep.
So there's no excuse. You've got players, but you go back to 2023. In 2023 in Salt Lake City, the meltdown in Salt Lake City when you and Brendan were out there, and y'all go back to that. But the same things are happening, in the 24 season, and now 25. You've got a 5-alarm fire, Florida football right now, and Napier in Florida's administration is trying to buy fire insurance.
I think you hit that nail on the head right there, trying to buy fire insurance. So
yeah, it's awful. There's no excuse for it.
No, there's not. I apologize for the noise.
Now it's gone.
Now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Okay.
Sounds like a washing machine going. Or
yeah.
Was it really?
I have somebody cutting down some trees.
I have no idea. Sorry about that.
That's
okay.
Right.
So, Lauren, Napier talked about this week that he's going to be in a boot. What is that all about?
You mean DJ?
Yeah, DJ. They say this for precautionary.
Yeah, it is. He got his toe stepped on. So toe was sore. Okay. Nowadays what they found is, used to be there was a thing, but they found that those boots are really good for just so you don't, because guys wear different shoes they shouldn't wear. They're wearing the Air Jordans. They're wearing all those things that can really grab at that toe box and different things like that. And then, they're in flip-flops. Well, then that doesn't give them the support.
Yep.
So you put the boot on, maintain the support. That still gives you the and then it allows the foot to rest and that kind of thing. But he's out the boot now, from what I understand. Okay. And so they just do that precautionary, keep it from getting infected if there was a crack in the skin. It's just precautionary. I mean, people, that's all. I ain't gonna start insulting people's intelligence, but it's not a big deal.
No, and I don't think it's a big deal either. Now, what happens on this weekend now? Are the guys? I mean, I'm sure this was Billy Napier is going to give them a few days off, but Is that really the case, or is DJ Lagway trying to rally some guys and get them to work out a little bit with him just to get the timing down? Have you heard anything about that at all?
No, I have not. I know that they went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think he'll give them off the weekend, and guys, local guys, or guys might take a few guys home with them, and they'll go to, they'll go to eat guys' hometowns and go watch the high school team. Obviously, you'd like to be 3-1 instead of 1-3, but it happens. But you go home, you get mom's cooking, you hang out. You might see Susie Q back at home, that kind of thing. And, just take a break, go to the beach. A lot of guys hit the beach, things like that. I mean, and they deserve it, man. I mean, like I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Rob's heard me. I mean, it's a savage sport. And no matter what your record is, man, those bye weeks are key. And Lagway may stay on campus, rehab, maybe do whatever. And some guys, if a couple guys, I mean, or they may say, hey, let's see how J. Michael Sturdivant is doing. So they get him in the indoor and see how he does with the light. Supposedly it was a concussion or concussion protocol. See how he does with the lights, balls coming.
Yeah,
and Lagway may stay around. I would assume Lagway obviously didn't go back to Houston, I don't think. And I think he will kind of dive into some film. But other guys will go home and hang out and, go, like I said, maybe go down to South Beach for a weekend. They deserve it. I mean, whatever. Go back to Miami. Just, or go over to Clearwater. Well, I mean, it's all
down. There you go.
Yeah.
He's Loren Meadows. He's Rob Browne. You're surely the animal. Have a cup of Joe coming at you on a beautiful Thursday night. Well, there was some news that happened this week. The SEC announced the opponents for the next 4 years. Not only the three, how would you call it? Your three permanent opponents for what? The next 4 years?
And it's up for review after 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
So it'll be up in review after 4 years, and then they also released the 9-game schedule, the teams that they'll play against for the 9 teams. Now, they're going to 9 SEC games, which I love, including one game that's going to happen next year.
Yeah, you got your wish, and you go to Waffle House too for
Hey, that is Rob. He's dissing a Waffle House, man. He can't be doing that. What's wrong with him? Let me. You talk about the foot issues and all. Let me tell you a great story. If you know anything about Missouri and the stadium and everything, we had a situation where we were able to find some Florida Gators to tailgate with. So that was cool. So we were able to get a trolley to go up to the trolley to take us to the stadium. But they had issues taking us back. So it was like a mile and a half. And I'm wearing these shoes that were just very tight and just did a lot of damage on my foot. And it hurt like heck, like you wouldn't believe. But other than that, it was really cool. And by the way, Rob, 2 weeks from 2 weeks from this Saturday, I'm traveling to Memphis, so we're gonna have to get in touch here on that a little bit later on. Any surprises on the permanent opponents? Not just from Florida, but anywhere around the league. I'll start with you, Rob. Any surprises?
Not really. I mean, they tried to consider geography, so Alabama and Mississippi State are 85 miles apart. And then they kept Tennessee. They kept Auburn. So, I mean, Florida's permanents are Georgia, South Carolina.
Yep.
And Kentucky. And, Florida's won 31 of the last 34 in that series. But, Florida did lose 3 in a row. But again, those are also canaries in the coal mine. When Florida's losing to Kentucky, that's telling you Florida football is struggling. It's just like if Auburn's losing to South Carolina or Vanderbilt, Auburn football is struggling. If Alabama loses to Vanderbilt, Alabama football is struggling. But the good thing about this is if these kids stay at a school for all 4 years, you're going to play every school in the conference home and away, plus your annual opponents. What makes a conference great, what makes it special is the interaction of the fan bases going to each other's campuses. The biggest lie was back during the virus, the pandemic, God bless. People, they'll just start staying home in their man caves and watching their 84-inch flat screens and cold beer. No, they're not. We're social animals. Mm-hmm. We love to be around other people. Yep. Now what's happened is when you go to campus, there's 80 to 100,000 plus people in the stadium, 60,000 more outside tailgating during the game. Mm-hmm. That's what's happened. A lot of people I want to just be there. You may not be inside the stadium, but you're there, and you're in the atmosphere. And I don't know what's better. I mean, something for Ole Miss fans for a long time, it was sitting out in the Grove with their crystal and china. You saw it, Loren. I've been going to games at the Grove. I've been to 52 games at Ole Miss Stadium over the years. I mean, look, I think this schedule thing, we're focusing on that. What we need to focus on is the officiating. Helen Keller School for Officials. Oh my God! Is Helen Keller School for the Officials gave out way too many scholarships because what I've seen in the officiating, it's been rough. But no, look, I do think it's in 26. Florida goes to Auburn, but they hadn't been there since 2011. Auburn hadn't been to games in 2019. From like 1955 to 2002, Auburn and Florida played every year. That's a great series. I was wanting, as an Auburn grad, Florida to be Auburn's third permanent.
Me too.
I mean, it's a great one. Yeah. Those schools have so much in common: engineering, veterinary medicine. They're very similar. But let me say it again. The University of Florida is going to rue the day that they turn their back on all these in-state kids and all these legacies of people. That's wrong. You know what? There's a lot of smart kids in Florida that you're turning your back on, and they're going to go out and make money and do things. And when you come asking for money, they're going to remember you dumped them at the altar. And there's a lot of things like that. But no, man, I think I like this because everybody's going to play each other. And now, Texas kind of got, moved up to the front of the velvet rope at the club, the hot club, and Oklahoma's, you just get in line, man. The line's back there. So in 2 weeks, I think Boomer Sooner and that wagon and those horses are going to roll in the Cotton Bowl.
If Mateer's back. If Mateer's back.
I don't know if that's karma about that play, man. He broke his hand in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. That was with 10 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second quarter. But Mateer, the first time, when I was like, this guy really gets it. But he had 297 yards passing.
Yeah.
Look, and here you look at Florida with that roster, and Pete Cordelli said he was at the Titans game Sunday in Nashville talking to a bunch of NFL scouts. Pete worked for the Cowboys before he went back to Arkansas with Lou Holtz. And he said, these scouts are going, man, there's so many Florida football players. They go, they're licking their chops, and they're going, none of them. They go, I do not understand what's going on at Florida. Florida football, to borrow the line that Big E, Ernie McCracken, said to Roy Munson in the great movie, the greatest bowling movie ever, Kingpin, said, you're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. And Loren, credit you. I didn't know you at the time, Animal, but you and Brendan were you were like going, we're not buying it. And I connected the dots. I'm wrong plenty. I'm right more, but damn.
I'm wrong too.
I know, look, yeah. But you sit there and you look, Lagway's hurt. And I don't know now, but if y'all watched Texas, Arch Manning is still, he needs reps. He needs snaps. You cannot microwave ribs or brisket. It takes a long time. Quarterbacks in that third category.
I'm not buying the hurt, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm buying bad system.
Yeah.
Bad organization. Offensively, they have a round peg or a square peg in a round hole. Either way, it ain't fitting. And like James DiVirgilio came on the show, Rob, you were there, and he talked about how DJ 90% of his offense was in empty. So maybe 50% of the time go 10 or what we called rabbits personnel. 5 wides was rabbits. 10 personnel was 4 wide, 1 back. And then you spread things out. You help that offensive line out. You give Jaden Boss some wider running lanes. I mean, for the life of me, you got the second coming of Mike Leach on your staff in Steve Spurrier Jr. And that's what I thought. I mean, Rob, I'm with you. I was skeptical, but I thought with the addition of a Russ Callaway, a Steve Spurrier Jr., that they were going to get into some of that air raid stuff that Shannon Dawson is doing, because he's an air raid disciple. I thought you were going to see some of that. And because of that, I thought they would be able to run their way out of Lagway's early struggles if he was rusty, that they would be able to run the football out of it. But when you bring so many guys to the party in the formation, it's tough, man. I mean, you can get nice in those compact, but we were always taught you get in those compacts, here come the rubs, here come the different, they don't do any of that, man. And it's just like, so I just think it's a bad system. I think saying that Lagway's hurt is being nice to Napier. Go ahead.
Okay, let me throw this out there. And I talked about this last week. I think I spoke a little bit about in my opening. Okay, it might be a bad system, but is it also bad that these guys are failing to execute it? Okay, I mean, to me, I think it works both ways. I think it works both ways. That Napier saves systems. It might be bad. It might be horrible. It might be worse than my love life in the past. That's another story altogether. But here's the thing, though. In order to make an offense success, in my mind, which a lot of people have questions of, but in my mind, if you are going to put out a game plan, it shouldn't be the player's responsibility to execute that plan, and we're not executing. I mean, some of them have to accept responsibility. Yeah, I know. Coaching is about coaching.
No. I'm going to ask you a question. How you make lasagna?
I never made lasagna.
But what's in lasagna? Noodles, sauce, different types of cheeses. Okay, take the lasagna out. Take the noodles out.
Right.
They ain't got no noodles. You're not giving these kids what they need to execute. And I'm going to tell you right now, they ran into a bare front against South Florida. The key point in the game, they ran, I don't even know if it was dive or inside zone, into a bare front, right in the smack dab middle of it. The guard gets whipped and the play's done on 3rd and 4. And I'm looking at it from behind and I say, they're going to go outside zone or they're going to throw the ball. Outside zone would have went for 60. They had Jaden Baugh in the backfield, and they run inside zone into a bare front.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's covered. So why not stretch it, make everybody move, make the blocks easier on the tackles, run to Austin Barber's side, not to the right, run to the left, and there you go. But they don't do that. So then when I walk to the podium and I ask, or Billy Napier's there, and I say, does DJ have the ability to check out of or check into something like that? And it's a simple yes or no question, and I didn't get a yes or no answer.
What'd you expect from Billy Napier? I mean, and Ron, he makes a valid point. It's you're not being coached right, you're not going to execute it.
Well, you still got to have players, and Florida's got players. So, and the players, coaches can't fumble, but you can teach ball security. You can that's practice. Guy fumbles in a game on Saturday. Used to be that carry the football around all week, go to class with it, sleep with it, take a shower. That was the way it was. Try doing that. Do the little things. We're not doing them like we should. But to me, how hard are these guys studying? I will say NIL has created a lot of distractions. There is a reason why from 1869, November 6th, when Princeton and Rutgers played, Rutgers 6, Princeton 4, the first.
I've been to that field, by the way. I've been there.
See, and so you're going back to 1869. There's 31. There's, we're on 156 years of college football now. Okay, there's a reason why it was, technically amateur. We know there was malfeasance and shenanigans going on. We know that. We admit it, but we liked it better like that, So now don't tell me these kids are hurting after a loss like they did when they weren't getting. If you've got $500,000 in your checking account and you're a 19-year-old sophomore playing for, let's say, Florida, and you lose.
Bad day at the office.
Bad day at the office. Wall Street, the stock market opens tomorrow at 8:30.
Yes.
You don't. I'm sorry, they don't care like they used to. And
no,
go read Lou Holtz's book about when he took over the Notre Dame program in 1986. He said they lost a game his first year. He goes, I was walking around the locker room. I was like, I don't see a bunch of guys upset. I didn't see a bunch of guys upset, but I did see one over there in the corner, crying his eyes out, smashing his locker.
No.
Chris Zorich.
No.
And he goes, I knew I could build my team around that guy. He grew up, didn't have any money. He lifted up manhole covers to lift weights. And Pete Cordelli, my friend, coached him. This is true. If it doesn't bother you, I've said this for years. Florida and Auburn are perfect examples. When the fans get as mad and pissed off after a loss in basketball as they do in football, then you're going to have a great basketball program. That's how it works. And you know what? You got to pay attention to the details. But Loren, you're right, and Joe, you're right. The system that they're trying to run, if it doesn't work, try something else. Remember Heartbreak Ridge, Clint Eastwood, the Marines, improvise, adapt, and overcome. If Dabo has won 181 games and he's lost 50, and he's played for 4 national championships at Clemson. He's won 2 of them. They've been to the playoffs 7 out of the 10 years it's been around. They've won the ACC 8 of the last 10 years, but nobody cares right now because they're 1-3, and they got stomped by Syracuse 34-21 at Death Valley in the Upstate Saturday.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? But I'm telling you,
that's what I'm saying, man.
The kids are not as upset after the losses as they used to be, and that is something that is a problem there because the fans sure are. It's even worse now because they're going, I'm paying for this crap. It's like going to a 5-star restaurant and getting a crappy meal. That's what's happening.
There's one thing that I'll say that Lou Holtz would be appalled with that impersonation because oh geez, you got a guy like Chris Shore sitting over there in the corner. I'm just gonna build my offense around that guy.
How am I supposed to build my offense around him? The guy's 89 years old. He's going to be in
great.
He's going to be in Fayetteville this weekend for the Notre Dame Arkansas game. All Dudley Dawson from Inside Arkansas is on our show Wednesdays. All 4 of Lou Holtz's children graduated from Fayetteville High School. And Lou Holtz's wife, Beth Holtz, passed away June of 20. And Pete was on my show with me that day. Pete was like one of his other sons. It's just, again, don't say that this is a personal attack. I'm with Loren. Billy Napier, from everything you see, good man, good father, husband. His father, what a story there. His brothers are in coaching. If he's not going to make the changes, and Florida, he wants for nothing, then it's time to just say, well, it didn't work. And but here's the thing: what did Urban Meyer say today on his podcast? Where are they going to get the $20 million to buy him out?
Oh, they get it.
But they could get it. It's just
Yeah.
it'll be like passing a kidney stone with no aspirin.
I like that. I like that.
That ain't gonna be fun.
No, and that's the thing. Nobody wants to. I mean, go ahead, Adam. Your show. My bad.
No. I'll let you finish in just a second. But I was talking with a source this weekend, and Lauren was talking about how he is sick and tired of hearing the word offensive coordinator. That they need offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm sick and tired of? I'm tired of hearing about Lane Kiffin. You know, I mean, that is something I am sick and tired about. And, you know, first thing first, I was talking with a source the other day, and I was asking him about his thoughts about Billy Napier. And the source, according to him, said to me that many changes are going to be made. They're going to do it after the second bye week so that the players will not be able to transfer. Now, I think he's right to some degree, but my only question about that is once a coaching change is made, there's an automatic 30-day window in the portal.
Yes.
Now, am I correct on that or not?
Correct.
Yeah, but what it costs you is a year. You don't get the year back.
Yeah.
So if they wait till after the 5th week, then it kind of keeps you from rolling because now you got to get the most out of that year. You can't redshirt anymore. So
I see.
You have after the 5th game, it costs you a year. So it's not about the window. It's more about the year. And more guys, and really it's not about them leaving post coaching change. It's them getting up and leaving on you during the season. And then you march 50 guys out there against, you got to play. You got to, if you play 4, then you can't redshirt. So there'll be certain guys that will have played 5 games after the Texas game and they can't, they can sit out, but it's going to cost them a year. Whereas most guys go, I done played 5, now I'm going to play the next 7. So
let's say for example, Billy Napier comes out tomorrow. I'm just going to use that example, folks. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to use it for example. I'm going to say that, Lauren, I see you have an ankle injury. I'm going to redshirt you the remainder of the year. Mm-hmm. You've already played 4 games. So that means you lose a year. Is that correct?
No, I can redshirt.
But it's after the 5th game.
It's after the 5th game. You can't redshirt.
It's after the 5th.
So for instance, Aaron Gates, who got hurt and will probably be out for some time, can sit this year and it won't cost him a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. J. Michael Sturdivant say this concussion keeps him out for the entire year. He can get another year.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Right. I didn't know. I thought Sturdivant had an injury. I didn't know that he was in concussion protocol. So I believe it was a concussion. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that they decide to make a change. Ron, I don't see any way, shape, or form that the Gators would go after Lane Kiffin that Lane Kiffin would want to leave a school like Ole Miss to go to a team like Florida, where they set the bar that you don't win after 4 years, you're out. They've already done that with 2 other coaches. I can't see Lane Kiffin leaving.
I know the Ole Miss people really well, and we talked to Yancey Porter, Rebel Yell Hotline. I know a lot of people who are donors to the Grove Collective. Everything they tell me is that Lane Kiffin is as happy as he's been in memory. I know that his daughter Landry, her grandfather or maybe her grandmother was a cheerleader at Florida. Her grandfather was John Reeves, who played at Florida. Okay, but her dad is the coach at Ole Miss. And in the last 60 plus years, Ole Miss has only finished in the top 12 4 times, and 3 of those have been in the last 4 years. Lane Kiffin is, he's got job security, and the Big Six schools, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU, since 1963, those are the only 6 that have won the SEC. Okay, you do not have job security at those schools. I mean, you're almost like somebody on death row. You never know when they're going to call your number. They could move your trial date, and it's tough. We all know that. Florida's a great job. All those top 6 are great jobs, but the Ole Miss job is a hell of a job now. And, and there's people saying Shane Beamer is going to leave and go to Virginia Tech.
No. I could see that. I could see that happening.
Do you want to? But his dad built a hell of a program up there.
Yes, he did.
There's people predicting Clark Lee to South Carolina. Clark Lee he went to MBA, Montgomery Bell Academy. He's in Nashville. He is boom Cumberland. He is Vandy all the way. So I think when schools, I was talking to some Arkansas people about their choices. I said, John Summerall's really good at Tulane, but he played at Kentucky. Okay. Rhett Lashley played at Arkansas and was Gus's quarterback from 8th grade, coached with him 6 or 7 years at Auburn. Auburn people think that he'll come to Auburn if Auburn makes a change. So I don't know where these coaches are. I think the practical thing financially is maybe you keep your coach and say, just don't go in the kitchen, stand up front, smile, and look pretty. You're a good-looking lady. Just do that. You're Miss America, and stay out of the kitchen. And they go hire a great defensive coordinator, Ron Roberts. I told you he's a good one.
Mm-hmm. He's really I think Ron Roberts is an excellent, excellent defensive coordinator.
So in Florida's case, we're going to go get us an offensive guy, just like what Ryan Day did with Chip Kelly. He's a smug, unhappy man. But
don't even talk to me about Chip Kelly. I have a major beef with that SOB. I don't want to.
But he wins. Remember that in the movie Tommy Boy when he was talking to David Spade, gave the sales pitch, and that guy goes, "I don't like you. Probably never will. You're a smug, unhappy little man, and I'm not going to buy from you." And Chris Farley was like, "Oh, hold on a second. See, it's the guy like Chris Farley that closes the sale." Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody loves the big guy. Everybody loves the offensive lineman. You remember everybody's All-American with Dennis Quaid and John Goodman. I mean, but I just think Florida, I don't even know if you have to fire the coach because that's a big deal. But if you do it now, it's like, oh, yeah, there's tax on this, and there's a storage fee, and there's a dockage fee. It's called the house fee. It's $21.5 million. You get rid of a coach and his assistants, then you got to bring the new guys in and the new assistants, and you got the house settlement on there. I think maybe you say, Billy, you got to go hire a great offensive coordinator. I mean, look, Dabo did it with Garrett Riley at Clemson, and they're terrible. I tell you the coach that I said they'd be good again this year, and everybody said, no, they lost too many people. It's damn Fran Brown at Syracuse. Mm-hmm. That guy can recruit. He could recruit you to go to your own hanging. That guy is and he's a damn good football coach. Mm-hmm. And he understands. He goes, hey, man, get your bag, like Deion says. And for all these people, I know the guy that coached Deion at Florida State. He's a friend of mine. He said, people say what they want about Deion. He said he was the first guy at every meeting, sat on the front row, took notes, raised by a single mom. He goes back and shows all of his, jewelry and his bling, whatever you want to call it. And he says, hey, you don't have to do bad things to get this. I earned this by working hard, and I earned it in sports. He ain't I don't know him, but Coach Howell does. He coached him at Florida State. I think what's going on is Billy's a good guy. His father, what a role model he grew up with. And he's from Cookeville, Tennessee. We had Mac Brown on the show Friday, and he loves Billy Napier. I haven't heard anybody say they don't like Billy Napier, but maybe he's just being hard-headed. I'm with Lauren, and I'm with you, Animal. You can be hard-headed, but don't let your hard head cost you your job, because You're at Florida.
Yeah.
If you'll listen to the smart people around you, I mean, who would not want the Florida job? That's like being, on the board of the Federal Reserve, being a governor on the board of the Federal Reserve. It's a big deal.
A good friend of mine just posted something and made an interesting comment from James Ludeman. Says, who would want the Florida job? Not trying to be mean, but there's a lot to fix from a program perspective and to get around a lot of fans' negativity too. I think James
That's the job. That's Florida. That's Florida. That's Ohio State. That's Penn State. That's Clemson. That's Alabama. That's Auburn. That's Texas. That's Texas A&M. That's about to be Oregon. That's Oklahoma.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with James.
It goes with the territory.
The territory. Yes, it sure does.
It is part of the deal. When you get paid them big bucks, so the reason you take the Florida job is a generational wealth, and Rob knows that if you get fired or don't get fired and it works out, but it's generational wealth. But also, you are the captain of the USS Enterprise. Ain't no better job in the world. Right. So that's why it's those 10 jobs. Michigan, add Michigan. That's the job at places like that. That's the job.
I know, and then James Wright
and negativity goes with it. You're gonna have I got a buddy that gives over $100,000 a year to Florida Athletics, and he got something to say. I sit with him at games. I love him. One of my best friends. Every game we sit together, he got something to say every single play. Every single play.
I wish Buddy Moore would have something to say and come on my show, but somebody's not helping.
I got you. You got to remind me, man. I'm going to get on him.
I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to throw one at you, too. I remarried. I'm married to a Vol for life. Everybody in my family's Auburn. Our oldest daughter is an Alabama grad. She's still a good person. Yeah. And but Lauren, you know this, and Animal, you know it. She goes, "Oh my God, y'all are Auburn. Y'all are horrible. Y'all win the game 49-7, and everybody's talking at the tailgate. Man, I can't believe we blew the shutout. How did they score?
I know.
And it's when you live in the state of Alabama, and you got as many Alabama friends as I do. Auburn, and everywhere you go, there's Auburn and Alabama people like Florida and Florida State. It's you won 56-3, you won 56-0. We got a shutout. That it's so bad. But I know. There's a sense of urgency, and the standards are high. Like if you want to be an Army Ranger or a Navy SEAL, you know what the standard is, and there's no getting around it. And the attrition rate is about 86%.
I was going to say that's why about 90% of them guys ring that bell.
Yeah, they ring that bell 3 times. And this has been such a great discussion because, damn, Animal, you're right. You and Lauren are both, you bleed orange and blue for the Gators. And I'll tell you what we need more of. I mean, Bruce Pearl steps down. You see Stephen Pearl and Todd Golden are like brothers.
That was so great.
That's classy. I mean, dadgummit, I'm so sick and tired. I'm with you about all the negativity. You know what? My wife just walked through in her orange and white pajamas, checkerboard orange and white. And
hey, tell James, don't nobody want to hear that tonight, man.
Yeah, well, we don't want. I just had my buddy James, get on my thing and said Roll Tide.
Well, no, but look, here's the thing: the Florida fan base is massive, and they don't want to go through a rebuild. So I'm telling you, it's a lot more financially expedient to maybe not get rid of the head coach, but say, look, stay out of the way. Let them run it. All the great coaches, and you know what a great coach does? He's not afraid of hiring somebody that might be smarter than him. As long as you're in control, you're in control. But if you're insecure, your players, your assistant coaches, and the fans know it. You got to be confident. You know what confidence is? Going fishing for Moby Dick and stopping by Costco and getting extra tartar sauce. You got to be confident.
There you go. There you go. I agree with that. Lauren, I know you probably got to go because you probably want to. You're on with Buddy Martin tonight, right?
Oh yeah.
What's that now?
Are you on with Buddy tonight?
I am on with Buddy tonight. Yeah, I am. But not. I mean, whatever.
Okay, and I probably because I don't want to crunch your time.
No, I'll tell you what. Lauren's bedtime though. Lauren goes to bed about 9:15. He goes to bed early.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
I'm kidding.
Oh, I was about to say no. 12:15.
But Joe,
I'm going to play video games after I get off Buddy's show.
Animal, I'll tell you what's cool about Lauren is that he doesn't give a damn. He's going to tell you what he thinks. It's like I told Roman Harper. I call him the truth broker. He likes that.
Yeah.
And this morning we asked about the schedule, and he goes, "Man, I'll be honest with you. I just got through dropping off. I was basketball with my daughter till almost 10 last night, dropping kids off at school." He goes, Who's playing who? He was kidding, but you know what?
He got Florida, a bunch of kids too, by the way.
Yeah. The Florida job. The Florida job is a great job. And I don't know. I don't. Do you have 3 or 4 people at Florida that run it like they are the alphas? It's a cabal, or is it widespread? Because when you got an alumni base as big as Florida, law school, vet school, medical school, they've got an endowment that's multi-billion. When people say Florida doesn't have money, I just like, what planet are you on? They have. Yeah. I have so many clients in Florida because it's a homestead exemption, triple tax exempt. There's a lot of advantages. It's a lot of advantages to living in Florida. Buckeye Gator or whatever.
Yeah.
Lauren, confirm something to me. And this is something that I heard a couple of weeks ago. Did the school up Scott Strickland a new contract?
Supposedly, I mean, he got an extension, I think 5-10 years. I mean, a pretty good extension. They haven't really announced anything. There's really not been a comment from Strickland, but it was announced that he was given an extension. And, it's like 50-50. I really like Scott Strickland. He's always been very gracious to me. I mean, a lot of people say that Golden saved his bacon. I don't know. I mean, I think the job of an athletic director is to do what Strickland's doing. Make sure that the cranes are moving and the bricks are being brought in. And that's what they're doing. I mean, new facilities, all that kind of stuff. They're about to go through a major stadium renovation.
Yeah, that's what
that people need to keep in mind is Strickland don't call no plays. He don't tackle nobody.
Correct. Yeah.
He ain't in the X's and O's meetings. That ain't his job. His job is to make sure that the kids are being treated fair. They're being treated, the athletes at Florida are being treated better than they have ever been treated in the history of Florida athletics, not just football, athletics. The athlete experience is the best that it has ever been.
And that's the academics too. The academics, Florida,
but
Florida as a school, I mean, it is a great school. Mm-hmm. It's one of only 6 in America that has a vet school, law school, and medical school. When we talked with our
don't forget about a good communication school too.
Well, absolutely,
great journalism school. Absolutely.
But who was our guest we had on? The former Florida basketball player. When the storm blew me up Tuesday night, we lost power till 3:00 in the morning.
Oh no, it was Eric Boykin. He played it.
No, the lady.
Oh, Jennifer George.
Yes.
Jennifer George.
She was really impressive.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. She was really good.
Sell that damn degree, man. Mm-hmm. You know what? NIL is like one day of trading on Wall Street, 1 or 2 days. True NIL, your life is the market opens every day at 8:30, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay. You go to Florida, you work hard, you get your degree. Let's say you're a blocking dummy for 5 years with a Pulse, scout team. That's Ben Troop, who he goes and hangs out with when he comes back to Florida. He loves on that scout team because they help make him who he is.
Rudy. Yeah.
Man, I think what Florida, and I'm with you, Scott Strickland is really an impressive guy. And he is. And I just think that he doesn't make tackles. He doesn't throw passes. He doesn't score baskets. but he is the guy that selects the coaches, and he puts the teams together. And brick and mortar facilities are great, but now, really, before you spend all weekend with a recruit, talking about academics and history and facilities, you really need to ask him that how much. If it's too much, you just say you don't need to come here.
I was, I talked about my time when I went to Missouri a few years ago, and a friend of mine, Vince Strassi, who here in Des Moines, went with me, and he's an Iowa fan, and he actually dressed up in a Florida Gator jersey, and to this day he can't get cleaned off. But he commented saying, that event he was excited and said that was a blast. So I wanted to comment on that. But back to that for just a minute. Every time the Gators play Missouri, I make it a point to to say hi to the team when they come in and everything. I'm able to get some pictures. And Scott Strickland is just a great guy. Not only does he take pictures, but he would talk with me for just a few minutes, and one of the nicer guys you really ever want to meet. Mm-hmm. And I met Billy Napier too, and you meet a lot of these guys. It's like, damn it, they're great guys, but they're not producing. They're not winning. Yeah. And it's hard. It's really hard to say we need new blood, but that's what's happening, So it just creates it.
Let me ask both of y'all something. That's Florida guys, and you 268 SEC championships in all sports. The closest school to that of all these other schools is Georgia with 149. I mean, again, it is Bruce Pearl, Auburn today. No, Florida's an everything school.
It's the everything school.
It's the only school in America that's won 3 national championships in football and 3 in basketball. Nobody else has done that. And you haven't always had the best coaches there. If you get it right at Florida, keep it right. That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, when you said 268, what did you mean by that? 268
SEC titles, yeah.
At Florida?
That's how many SEC titles Florida.
Oh my God, I did not realize that. Wow, that is unbelievable. Okay, Loren, you have a show called The Lowdown with Loren Meadows. Talk about your show. Talk about what's coming up and everything.
Well, it's The Lowdown with Loren Meadows. It's been going on since about the middle of March, right around March Madness. Rob is he's kind of like my constant co-host, does a great job, kind of keeps me going. But what's interesting about the show is we bring some fresh and new guests, really make a focus to focus on the women's sports at Florida as well. So we had Jennifer George on. We'll have Kelly Ray Finley on.
I can't wait for that one.
We have Lena Bailey. Had Lena Bailey on. Ben Troop is a monthly contributor with his segment, What's Got Troop Tripping. So just a great show, man. Really, thank Buddy Martin for his guidance and really pushing me to do this. Appreciate Rob coming on, but we're gonna get it's kind of like a Pat McAfee kind of thing where I have some high school buddies on. I have my brother has been a guest on. Brendan Martin makes an appearance. We just kind of ham it up, but like Rob said, man, we keep it real. So show off my shoe collection, things like that.
Yeah, wait. You remember James Ludeman? I mean,
I do. I gotta get James on. I do. I gotta get James on.
And he says, why haven't I been invited?
Tell James I got him. Tell James.
Okay. I'm waiting to get invited.
You've been on. What do you mean? You just were on.
What time?
Hey, I had my Hokers on today. I hear you. I had my Hokers on today running at the gym. I'm down with the Hokers.
Hokers.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, those are my shoes. I just got those for Fanatics. They actually fit me. They actually fit me. So just
see what I got. Hold on. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Loren's got a lot of good looking. He does. It's fun. Loren is a football He's like a scientist. Oh my gosh, those are good looking. Wow, those are good looking, Lauren.
Wait, look, put them up again. I missed it. Put them up again. I missed.
Wow.
Oh yeah, those are nice. I saw those too.
Yeah.
But they didn't have them in my size. So
Yeah.
Well,
Get you a pair of them, man.
Yeah, and when we get into it, we cover a lot. That Tuesday night's fun. I mean, like I said, I got blown up. The storms were so bad Tuesday night. I'm at 8:30, about 34 minutes into the hour. It was like, bam. I mean, we lost. You know, I'm on Starlink out here in the country, right outside of Memphis.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's fun. I love being on that show with him. I learn a lot, and you get to talk to. Yeah, no other show. I talk to more student athletes, current and former, than on his show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you take a moment, talk about your show, what you have coming up in the near future.
Tomorrow morning, we'll do our Friday roundtable. Mike Griffith, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Dog Nation. He's a weekly contributor on Paul Feinbaum's show. We're going to talk about all these matchups. We'll get into the Florida situation, Georgia, Alabama, Missouri. They put over $300 million into the football program here, folks. They're going up to 80,000 all over the SEC. There's stuff happening. Hey, look, there's a lot of problems, but you know what? Passion and interest in the game. When they put all the football games on in 1984, remember the dire predictions? Who's going to go? They're all on TV. Just remember, we are social animals. Nobody likes to sit around by themselves more than, unless they're in timeout.
There you go. There you go. And so to keep everybody updated what's going on, I'm going to do a show next week. Then I'm off the week after. Because the wife and I were going to go on vacation. We're going to Memphis, Tennessee, and then we're going to Nashville, Tennessee. So you're in the Memphis area, right?
Yeah. And if I'm in town, I'm going to come meet y'all because there's a lot to see in Memphis. It's a big city.
Yeah.
It's the largest small town in America, 1.2 million people. As soon as you cross the river, it's just farmland all around us.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to meeting you and having you buy us dinner. So I mean that should be awesome. And
we'll have fun. We will have.
Fun.
And you know what?
Yes, sir. What's that?
Memphis' problem is so many fan bases here. You got the University of Memphis. But you've got Gators, you got Tigers, you've got Alabama.
Razorbacks.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. It's crazy.
Wait a minute. You tell me that there were actually Gator fans in Memphis?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I worked for a firm for 12 years. Our chief trader, he wins Trader of the Year for the firm every year. Adam Tooley is a major Florida Gator from Canada.
Nice.
Lived in Memphis and went to the University of Florida. And, there's plenty of Gators around. You'll see a lot of
nice.
FedEx brings people from everywhere. And their colors are orange, purple, and white, kind of like Clemson and Auburn used to be. but that Florida blue is a different kind of blue. It's a cool blue. It's a royal blue.
Ron, real quick, you have your pulse on the SEC and everything real quick. Any interesting developments that you see happening? I mean, any possible coaching changes or anything like that?
Not now. I just don't think Kiffin leaves and goes anywhere. And,
I don't think so either.
But I do think, as far as coaching, I think coaching salaries are heading down because you got to have more money now on the table to buy players. Doesn't matter who your coach is. If you don't have good players, you won't win. So I think we're going back to, not like they're not going to make any money, but more money is going to be put into these players as long as we got NIL until donor fatigue takes over. And then you'll just have a lowering of coaching salaries and you'll just try to make college as amateur as you can. But no, as far as any surprises, no. Keep your eye. I would say this, keep your eye on Alabama because they're not going to do anything. $69 million. They're not going to get rid of DeBoer. Last year, if I'm correct, we had nobody fired in the SEC, did we?
No, last year, no. First year, no coaches. Like first time since like 2014 or something.
Yeah, wow. And that's because the House settlement. It's a $21.5 million gratuity that you are going to have to pay on top of that. So I think getting big time coordinators in, telling the head coach to stand still, they may not like it, but they get to keep their money. Maybe they take a pay cut. I don't know, but that's what we're hearing. And Matt Brown's right. Coaches are making more money than ever, and a lot of them, most of them, are miserable. That's got to change.
I think Russ Callaway needs to grab the bull by the horns and say, "Enough of this. I need to be called play. You just do your job." Yeah, like that.
Look at Loren. Lauren, I detect a bit of. You don't see that happen.
That's an easy way to be unemployed.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I want to get you some NFL conversation. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can join me next week, great. If not, I do understand. But thank you so much for joining me. You guys are a blast. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, and it feels like 10. So, I mean,
thank you so much for having us. It's an honor always. I'll come on your show anytime. Lauren, thanks for getting me on here with him, okay?
Thank you, Ron. And Lauren, hey, Lauren, Buddy Martin thing.
Yeah,
on that, please.
I got you. I just sent him a text, and I'm gonna at him tonight. But there you go. Tune into the Buddy Martin show when you guys get done with the animals.
Yeah. He does a great job. Thank you so much. I know you gotta go. Thank you. All right, bye. That is Loren Meadows and Ron Browne at CC Inside, and we might get James Ludeman on here in just a minute to talk real briefly about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me do this. What the heck? Let me put this baby on, okay? You know, and the reason why, because the Buccaneers are 3-0 on the season. 3-0 on the season. And they have won, and they won the reason why they have won their games, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense have done something that no other team in the NFL. Do you realize that the Buccaneers have become the first team in the history of the National Football League whereby they have won their games on the final drive of the game? The final drive of the game, 3 consecutive games, that set a new NFL record. Something that's never happened in the history of the National Football League. And give Baker Mayfield credit for the job that he is doing. And he did another outstanding job Sunday afternoon in Raymond James Stadium when they took on the New York Jets. Now, I'm going to say it was a seesaw battle back and forth. And we saw where that lineman jumped over the center and was able to block a punt, return it for a touchdown. That enabled Baker Mayfield to go on a drive, and let me pull it up here in just a second. To go on a drive, let's see here. The final drive of that game, 8 plays, 48 yards, 1 minute and 49 seconds. They started they were on 34-yard line, and what a game it was, capped off by a touchdown. No, by Chester McLaughlin, 36-yard field goal with 3 seconds left in the game to win it for the Buccaneers. 3-0 on the year for this team and for the Buccaneers. They just keep rolling. They just keep rolling it up. For Baker Mayfield, let's see here. Scoring summary, box score. Let me get you the box score because that's what I want. That's what I want to do. In the game, let's see here. Okay. Hang on. For the game, Baker Mayfield, 19 of 29 for 233 yards on the day. Had 1 touchdown, no INTs on the game. And by the way, speaking of DJ Lagway, he did not have an interception in the game Saturday against Miami, so we want to point that out. Bucky Irving, 25 carries for 66 yards. Edemir Egbuka, 6 catches, 85 yards, including a great one-handed catch on the sidelines. Now, if you saw some of the Buccaneers clips, you saw one clip where where Baker Mayfield was actually mic'd up. He's mic'd up. Abuka catches one-handed catch, which ends up being a scoring play. They come to the sidelines, and Baker Mayfield replies, "Do not ever disrespect me again. Use two hands. Do not ever disrespect me again." And the way he said it, I don't know if Baker was joking. Was he serious? I mean, I still have a hard time believing. I still have a hard time wondering about that. But nevertheless, the Buccaneers were able to grab 347 yards on the game, but they have 14 penalties. And that's something that Todd Bowles and company is going to have to look at when they take on the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, this coming Sunday, 1 o'clock, Raymond James Stadium. The injury report has come out, and for the Buccaneers, Levante David, he practiced today. Mike Evans has a hamstring injury. We don't know what his status will be for Sunday. Chris Godwin with that ankle injury. He was at full practice on Wednesday, but did not practice today. Now, they're saying that he had a day off, but they're saying that he may be ready to go for the game on Sunday. Logan Hall, he did not practice today. Charlie Heck has a knee injury. Christian Ezean has a quad injury. He did not practice. I doubt if he plays. Baker Mayfield has a bicep injury, right bicep. He's wearing a brace. They limited him in practice yesterday and today. They're going to see how it is for tomorrow. But some other good news, Tristan Wirfs, he is, for the first time during all year long, he's full go, and they think that he's going to practice. For the Eagles, all these players were limited in practice, including linebackers Zach Bond, Jihad Campbell. Lane Johnson has a stinger injury, offensive tackle, but he was full go. Adoree Jackson, he was limited in practice, along with Will Shipley, but he was in full participation. So that's what's going on with that situation. Now, let's see here. And yes, I am on YouTube. Look me up, at JAnimal45. In fact, let me do this real quick. A friend of mine wants to put me up on his big screen. Let's see here. Provide you with the link real quick. Okay. Da 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 da. Here we go, buddy. That is my link. So put you on in just a minute. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? The man from Alabama. The man with the beard. One of my good friends who does an outstanding job. Knows a lot about Alabama football. Knows a lot about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about him earlier. He commented and managed to get home and is able to join me right now. James Ludeman. Always a pleasure to join Half Full and a Cup of Joe.
Yeah, Joe, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, my brother. What's going on?
Perfect. What's up, brother? How you doing? Too long.
Man,
it's been too long. You know, you've been able to run wild on this show. It's time for me to bring it in just a little bit, buddy.
Well, hey, if you didn't have so many things to do, you'd be able to tame it, you know? And there's your son back. Who is that behind you?
That is Seth. He is my current basketball star, my football star.
Nice.
My other child is not here. She just got done with volleyball. So she's we got basically a few weeks. They're still in high school season here, but they still got a few weeks of that. And then basically we start travel ball. We got our schedule for that today. We're going to Kansas City this year. We're going to Atlanta this year. We're going to Columbus, Ohio this year. Hopefully we're going to Indianapolis, Indiana to go to the national tournament this year, but we'll see what happens there. But yes, it has been crazy, man. It's been absolutely
Well, you need to come to Des Moines so we can meet up and let me buy you
How
some
far is Des Moines
dinner.
from Kansas City?
It's about 2 hours.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
it.
terrible.
No. As a matter of fact, if you let me know when you're coming to Kansas City, if it's on a weekend, I'll join you, and we might be able to get together. Do some
Possibly, yeah.
things.
We'll see. I mean, the schedule. Listen, volleyball is, man. If you've never been to a club tournament volleyball game, man, it's insane, dude. It's absolutely crazy. So we'll see. We'll see what we can work. Did I hear you right? Are you coming to Nashville?
I am coming to Memphis, and then I'm coming to
Memphis.
Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
Memphis
only
and
an
Nashville.
hour. I'm only an hour from Nashville.
Well, then you have to come up and see
I'll have to
me.
come up and say hey. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch on that.
Okay. Sweet.
Talk about things getting crazy. Let's talk about your boys, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about with him. First, start off, give us the latest buzz on what's going on down there with them.
I mean, listen, they're getting ready for a very tough game against Georgia. You know, Georgia coming off the some would say miracle win against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago, and both of these teams had a bye last week, so they're both fresh coming into this game. Man, it's a big top 25 matchup between, on the one hand, you've got a Georgia team that is doing what Georgia does, right? They come in, they dominate, they leave. They didn't do that against Tennessee. There was a lot of holes in the armor, per se, for Georgia, so that was a big deal. And then you've got an Alabama team who, you don't know what you're going to get on Saturday. And I say that with the highest respect because, Florida State, to their credit, came in with a great game plan a few weeks ago, and they really took it to Alabama. Alabama had no answer for anything Florida State did, and so, you got to give a lot of credit to that coaching staff. They did a great job of game planning, preparation, and things like that. But since then, Alabama's kind of played this I don't want to say cupcake schedule, but they played this small schedule of teams that really have no business beating Alabama anyway. So the real question in Tuscaloosa is, what Alabama team is going to show up? Is this the Alabama team that beat Georgia last season, or is this the Alabama team that played against Florida State? And that's going to be a big talk of interest for anybody watching this game on Saturday. It's a huge game. I would argue there's a lot of big games this week in the SEC, by the way. This is a huge, really not even just the SEC. College football, there's a ton.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that schedule in just a few minutes if you want to stay with me for that.
Oh, of course, yeah, I'm here.
In just a few minutes. Obviously, there's a lot of anger and frustration with this Alabama team and Kalen DeBoer. I don't want to say he's in trouble.
I think it's been quieted a little bit. I don't think it's listen, when you come off of a season where you're taking over for the greatest coach of all time. Let's just call a spade, right? Kalen DeBoer is coming into a situation where you're the guy after the guy, right? And he came into a very impossible scenario. In my opinion. Now, can Kalen DeBoer still turn this around and make this a season? Absolutely. They've lost one game. There have been many teams throughout the college football playoff, especially now with the expanded playoff going to 12. I mean, you still have every opportunity to get into the championship game, the SEC championship, and then, of course, the national title picture becomes kind of more open at that point too, but you still have a chance in a top 12 scenario. But, you look at this Alabama team and listen, a win on Saturday, I think would really hush a lot of the mumbling that you hear. Now, do I have Alabama winning this game on Saturday? Probably not, to be honest with you. I don't think they're fast enough to keep up with Georgia's receivers. I think defensively, Georgia just does a lot of things that Ty Simpson is not going to be ready for. But can they make it close? I think so. I think they have the ability to do that. Ryan Williams for Alabama is a crazy receiver. and probably a first-round draft pick, I would say, even right now. They're deep at receiver. So I will say, because of the offensive weapons Alabama does have, if they can get the run game going, it'll be very interesting to see how that looks. But yeah, I don't know if Alabama wins this game. I think, especially on the road, you're going to Georgia in a hostile environment. Unless they come out and just absolutely slap the taste out of somebody's mouth, I don't think Alabama gets out of there. But if they can keep it close and they can really work hard within the trenches, I think that would really quiet a lot of the talk right now as far as, Kalen DeBoer is concerned.
Okay, we have some breaking news that just come my way here a moment ago. Zach Alberverde of Gators Online is reporting the freshman wide receiver Dallas Wilson practiced on Wednesday. He says that he is doing well and is on track to make his season debut against Texas. And I got to tell you, Lauren, James, that's huge for them.
Yeah, I think, listen, any weapons you can give to DJ Lagway is a good thing. I think, listen, and I'm not saying Lagway is a Heisman Trophy candidate by any stretch, but I think Lagway has a lot of really good skills, and I think that there's good opportunity for him. So yeah, that's huge news. Anytime you can get a receiver back who's a big time player and a star player like that, absolutely, I think that's big time, and I think DJ Lagway is breathing a little bit of sigh of relief tonight, hearing that.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about it. With something we do have in common: the Pewter Power Boys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They played the first home game with the creamsicle uniforms. They beat the Jets. And listen. Here's something that you may or may not know: the Buccaneers have become the first team in the NFL to win 3 consecutive games on the last drive. It's never happened before in the National Football League. Says a lot about Baker Mayfield and about this offense.
I think it also says a lot about the character of the team. I mean, Animal, how many games have we watched where we have sat there and in these one-score games and we lose them? I've been watching it since I was a kid. Like, I've been seeing.
I know.
I know you've been seeing it longer than I have. Like, it has been amazingly fun to watch, for sure. Now, I think the win is great, and this is one thing, and I want to compare it to this just real quick. There was a series, and this is a different sport, but I'm using this as an example. There was years ago when the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup. They went to New York, right? They played the Islanders, and they ended up winning the game 3-2. But it really masked an issue that was going on where they weren't playing well, right? The Bucs have been very, I don't want to say lucky, because I think luck and skill are two very different things. And I think they've made plays when they've needed to. And I think it's great that they're 3-0. It's the first time it's happened since 2005. It's been 20 years since they've been 3-0 to start a season. And I think, Joe, if you were honest, and you have asked me this question of what would the Bucs record be after the first 4 games, I think we would have been happy with 2-2. I think we would have been happy with 2-2 for sure. But to be 3-0, and even if Sunday doesn't go well against the Eagles, to be 3-1 after the first 4 games, I think is a huge credit to this team. But I want to tell you this real quick, because I think it's important to note. Don't let what happened Sunday leave your mind. The Bucs should have had this game easily. There's no reason why the Jets should have come back in this game. There's no reason why Todd Bowles needs to play soft coverages on defenses in the fourth quarter. When you're in this league, you have to put your foot on the gas and stay there. Yes. That is the biggest gripe I have with Todd Bowles. Like, I know people love this man, and I do too. I think he's fine, but I have a problem with him playing too soft and allowing games to get where they shouldn't get to. There is no reason this game should have been this close. The Bucs dominated for 3 quarters, and all you have to do is finish. right? You just finished. You know, if you get a chunk play here and there, that's all well and good. But why would you stop blitzing this man who had zero answer for it for the first 3 quarters? It makes no sense to me. You're muted, by the way.
And you do know, sorry about that.
You're
and
good.
you do know that catch in the end zone that was controversial, that was called a touchdown. I saw a different replay today of it, and he never called it.
I have less
never
of a
here and there.
problem. I have less of a problem with that one as I do with them not reviewing the Emeka Ibuka catch where he got both feet in bounds. I think it was like
Oh!
there
Oh
was like
my God! I was
going
going nuts. I was going nuts.
How does the NFL look at this on TV and not review this? Like, he had both feet and the ball, and they didn't even look at it. Like, you've got to at least look at it, and they didn't even do it.
I was looking at it, and I'm like, how the hell did and Baker said even afterward, the video assistants dropped the ball, you know. Now, and it was just crazy. Now, let's talk about the play of the game. Not the guy jumping over and blocking the kick and returning for the touchdown. Let's talk Egbuka's play where he caught the ball with one hand.
Wow.
That was an amazing catch. But here's my question. Maybe you've seen it or not. And it's a debate that I tend to wonder. They had Baker Mayfield mic'd up. I don't know if you saw this.
I did. I know right where you're going with this.
So Baker walks over and tells Ibuka, says, man, don't ever disrespect me again. You need to catch the ball with 2 hands. Don't ever disrespect me. Okay, that's fine, but I'm trying to wonder, was that a joke or was he being dead serious?
No,
I did not see him smile.
No, listen, receiver's job is to make the quarterback look good. That's their job.
Well, he sure did.
And he sure did that. And you know what, though? He did it last week. He did it the week before. And he did it with the game-winning touchdown against Atlanta in week 1. I mean, again, now that touchdown specifically in week 1 doesn't get there without an absolutely perfect pass from Baker Mayfield. And
I know.
So, again, but your job as a receiver is to make your quarterback look better than he is most times. And on that one-handed catch, he did that. The concentration to make that catch, I think even the commentators had made the comment of a catch Odell Beckham would be proud of. And I completely agree with that. I think it's fantastic.
I did too.
And this kid, you know, Jason Light does not get enough credit for how many home runs this dude hits. He hit one with Mike Evans. He hit one with Chris Godwin. He hit one with Ibuka. He hit one with McMillan. He got one with Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady, Gronk. The list goes on and on and on.
Here's what's interesting about it. Here's what's interesting about all this. I'm sitting on draft night. I'm watching this, and they draft Ibuka.
Right.
Why the hell are you drafting a wide receiver? You don't have freaking enough wide receivers. And then it hit me later on that night that they don't think Chris Godwin is going to be ready to go. Oh, by the way, there's an update on that tonight. Chris Godwin has been practicing. There is a chance that he might be able to play on Sunday along with Tristan Wirfs.
He was a full participant. I think that's important to note that. Because it wasn't just, you know, like
No. You talking about full participant?
Godwin was a full participant.
No, he wasn't. Yesterday. He did not practice. Yesterday
he was a full participant.
Yeah,
but I still think that was. I listen. I think Jason Light made. Well, I agree. I think Jason Light made the comment of, and he commented on T. Kraz's show like. This is probably about 3 weeks ago now, but he had made the comment of, you know, you don't want to rush Chris Godwin to come back, right?
No.
Tristan Wirfs, for that matter, I think is more important to have right now than Chris Godwin is, and that's that's hard to say, but there is a chance also for Tristan Wirfs to be back too. And
he is going to be back.
He is going to be back. Well, that's even better. So you've got this offensive line that you're sitting here going, well, who's going to be where, who's going to do what. And the Bucks, the more impressive part about all this, Animal, they've gone 3-0 with really an offensive line that is just, hey, you're going to play this today. You're just going to show up here and play left guard. You're going to show up here and you're going to snap the ball, and you're going to show up here and be the right tackle. All right, ready, go. Like, they don't have any plan. This was not the planned offensive line before the season got started. There's no way. And for the fact that you've lost Cody Mauk, which really hurts, that's a huge loss. You've lost Kalijah Cansey now. That's a huge loss. Yeah. I mean, and now, you're getting Tristan Wirfs back, which I think is great for Baker because it's going to open up that right side a little bit too, not having to worry so much about the left tackle position. I think that helps you a lot. But, man, if you would have told me before this season started that we'd be 3-0 heading into this game, I would not have believed you, because I thought Atlanta was going to be a lot better than they are. And, boy, they got the crap beat out of them by Carolina on Sunday.
By the way, don't be surprised if Kalijah Cansey comes back during the playoffs if they make a run.
No, yeah, which I think they will. I think they're easily the division winner here. I don't see any reason.
I think so either. Your take on what's happening with the Florida Gators?
I had made the comment in the chat down there, basically saying who would want this job right now, because if I'm looking at this job, yes, you have all of these different things. You have all of these great athletics. You have a great opportunity to be the coach of Florida, and I think the biggest thing is, what am I walking into, right? And I think this is the opposite problem that Kalen DeBoer had. What am I walking into with the Florida job? Well, I'm walking into a fan base who is having a lot of negativity because they don't trust their coach right now or their coaching staff. You're walking into a situation at quarterback, which you never know what you're going to get. Are you going to get the good DJ Lagway, or are you going to get the guy we've seen? Am I walking into a program that is going to have the coaches back, which I feel like is a yes, because they've had Billy Napier's back, or at least quietly have had their coaches back at this point. And maybe a lot of that has to do with money, probably, because they know what it would cost to, have to let go of Billy Napier at this point. Listen, I asked that question, and as someone who has grown up, again, watching this team, this may shock you guys, but I haven't always been an Alabama fan. Like, I grew up watching the Florida Gators. I grew up watching Spurrier as a coach, and Tebow and Chris Leak and all these guys. Like, I've grown up watching this team, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, when I think college football is better when the Gators are better. We saw that just a few years ago. It's hard to think 5 years ago this team was in the SEC championship against Alabama, giving them a run for their money. Like, it's kind of hard to think that it was only 5 years ago at this point, because honestly, it feels like it's been a lot longer than that since they've had continued success. I think that's the difference. Like, you've seen an Animal, you can attest to this. You've seen games where they've looked good and then they've looked really bad, and then they've looked good again and then they look bad. There's not consistency like we've seen in the past, and I think that's what Florida fans are. And I'm not speaking for them, everybody's probably angry for a different reason, but I think one of the biggest things is you want to see a program compete for a national title every year. Now that you have 12 teams, especially now that you have 12 teams, Florida wants to be in the mix, and I don't see any reason why anybody would not want to be in the mix for the national title. If that's not what you're playing for, then what are you doing here? I really think that Florida as a whole, if you're looking at this job, and I think Tebow said this too on college, on SEC Network or something like that. When they were talking about the job, it's like, well, what do you look for in a program? And yes, there's a lot to love about Florida. I think Lauren and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of your other guest that was on.
Ron Brown.
Ron. I think they brought up great points about how Florida is an everything school. They have a lot of SEC championships. They have a lot of great culture. They have a lot of great fans. They have a great alumni association. That's great. But what about the product? What about the process? What
Yeah.
about the intricacies of this football program? If I'm a coach, I want to know that I can come into a program, and yes, I may have to rebuild some things, but do we have a core right now? Do we have a core group of guys who you can build on? And I think that's the biggest question for anybody that's going to come in here. Lane Kiffin, to his credit, is a great coach. And I see the Gators will be fine. They'll put together and finish strong. That's great, and I hope they do.
Yeah,
I
agree with that.
I think the winner, by the way, and I know we haven't talked about this because I know I'm probably taking up way too much time, and I'm sorry, but one of the things that I think we need to talk about because it's important is next season starts this new SEC schedule, and I think this benefited the Gators more than anything else. The Gators have had and have this year, by the way, the most difficult schedule I have ever seen a college football team.
Oh my gosh!
This is like when you go in to play NCAA 25, and you just start putting in teams to play because you just want to do it. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to face number 4 Miami. Oh yeah, I'd love to face number 1, whoever. I'd love to face number 5 LSU. Like,
yes, you do.
This is exactly what you're looking at. And I'm sorry, this team, Animal, it hurts me to say this. This team is not equipped to play big name top 5 schools right now. They're not. You can say what you want. They're not good for Texas.
And they're not showing it
for LSU. They're not good for Georgia. They're not good for Tennessee. LSU. I mean, the list goes on and on of these guys. Even Missouri. I mean, Missouri's even doing well. I mean, there's.
I know.
It's tough to see because you want to believe that Florida's going to compete in these games, and I'm sorry, they're not equipped to do it. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yeah, and they haven't shown it, and you're right because they haven't shown it. That's the reason why they have not shown it yet. They do have talent, but they haven't shown it yet. Let's go to the list of games we have this weekend in college football, and you can comment on the games that we have. And there is a lot of folks. There's a lot of great games going on this weekend.
Ton of great games.
Florida State will be at Virginia tomorrow night. TCU at Arizona. Saturday, some great games. USC at Illinois, 21 versus 23. Notre Dame will take on Arkansas. Other games on tap during the course of the day. Ohio State will be at Washington. Number 4, LSU will be at Ole Miss. I would love to see Lane Kiffin beat them.
Dude, that's a huge game for Lane Kiffin. And I think if you're looking to hire Lane Kiffin, if he can find a way to pull off a way to beat LSU, I think there's going to be a lot more people than Florida knocking at that door. I promise you.
I personally, I don't think Lane Kiffin leaves, but that's another story altogether.
Well,
Auburn will be at number 9 Texas A&M. Indiana will be at Iowa. Other big games, Tennessee will be at Mississippi State, which I think that might be Jeff Levy's been doing a great job with that program. Arizona will be at Iowa State. That's a 6 p.m. Central Time game. Alabama will be at Georgia, the game that James talked about earlier. Big SEC matchup. That game will be on ABC. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. They will be doing the call. Kentucky will be at South Carolina. BYU will be at Colorado. Those are just some of the games.
Can we talk about one? Can we talk about one school real quick that deserves a shout out?
Who's that?
How about them Vanderbilt Commodores? Can we talk about that? In the country right now, that is dogs down there. Animal.
No, it's not Drinkowitz. Who's the head coach? It's not Drinkowitz. But who is?
Isn't that bad that they're the top 20 team in the country? We can't think of their coaches. It's wild to me.
I think they're off this weekend because I don't see them.
They are. I think they are off. They beat some no-name team last week. But man,
no. They played home against Utah this weekend.
Utah,
yeah.
the Utes.
Diego Pavlov, the quarterback.
Oh, Utah State. Yeah.
Yeah, Utah State. Yeah, Vanderbilt at Utah State.
Well, and then so you think it's bad for them. So they got Utah State this week. Then they're on the road at Alabama. They're home against LSU. They got Missouri, on the road at Texas, home against Auburn and Kentucky, and then they finish on the road at Tennessee. So, I mean, listen, if you can win, I don't know. What do you I mean, do they legitimately have a shot here at the college football?
I mean, Clark Lee, the head coach at Vanderbilt. Yeah, but I mean, I don't see why not.
That's crazy.
I don't see why not. You know what? Here's what I think. This is going to be a bold statement from yours truly, but I think that for the first time in a very long time, the SEC, both the Eastern and the Western Division conferences, are up for grabs.
Well, you know, they don't have the conferences anymore though, so they're all just one thing now.
That's right. They don't have the intermediate conferences.
No, they didn't do. They done away.
Well, then, I'll rephrase
it. The first year was last year, so it's new.
Right.
But
So it's wide open.
If Vanderbilt runs the table here, then they have a shot, obviously, to get to the SEC championship.
Yeah.
And at
I
that point,
I would not mind that. I would not mind that.
End up playing LSU. Now, listen, again, let's pump the brakes though, because again, they do have to go to Alabama on the road. They do have to play LSU. They do have to play Texas. I mean, this is not like an easy, hey, we're going to pick up a win in their schedule. But if you could find a way to win some of those games, if you're Clark Lee and Vanderbilt, like what a world we live in where USF beats Florida and Vanderbilt's in the top 25. Like, what a world do we live in?
Let me ask you this. Is Brian Kelly a brick? And you can think about what rhymes with that, but you know what I'm saying?
Brian Kelly is a very interesting guy. Let's say he's an interesting guy. I'll use that word. Just when you think you have Brian Kelly figured out, something else happens.
I don't know if you saw this after the game, but he was asked the very first question he was asked about the offense after the Florida game, and he just ripped into a reporter like crazy. I mean, he apologized later on, but he was just upset with that. So I just thought that was classless. Real quick, let's talk about the NFL. Seattle, Arizona's tonight. Seattle's up 14-3. Sunday games, folks. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Washington, Atlanta, New Orleans at Buffalo, Cleveland at Detroit, Carolina, New England. The Chargers will be at the Giants, Eagles at Tampa Bay. I cannot believe they put this as a 12 o'clock game. They should have put this. I thought this should be either late afternoon or night
game of the week. I think, honestly, this is where, like, they don't start flexing these games until the second half of the year. But I think if I'm the NFL and I'm looking at a team who's won by last second wins in the last 3 games, and then a team like the Eagles who are just coming in, and actually, and let's not listen, for those of you out there watching this, I want to tell you this: there is hope for Sunday. The Los Angeles Rams had this team on the ropes, and they let them off the hook big time. They had this team, and listen, if LA makes the field goal, the game's over. LA wins. So I'm saying the Eagles are beatable. This is a beatable team, but the problem is we're not going to be able to play soft, and we're going to have to put foot on the gas and move forward because. But the Eagles are beatable. Listen, there's a lot of people out there picking the Eagles, and they should, because the Eagles deserve it. They're a great team. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying that they're not going to win this game, because I think there's a good chance that they might. But don't sleep on the fact that the Eagles have not been perfect in any of the games that they've won either. They let the Chiefs back into it, and they almost lost to the Rams. So again, there's things you can take away that I think Todd Bowles is looking at and going, I think I can do this. I think I got a scheme for this. And they've already beaten the Eagles. I think it's 4 out of the last 5. They've beaten the Eagles. So again, this is a team that's tested, and a lot of this same team is still together that have beaten the Eagles over the past few years. Don't sleep on the Bucs. I'm telling you, this is going to be a very, very good game, in my opinion. It's going to be close. And if the Bucks pull off another miracle, go 4-0 to start the year, I don't know how you don't put them in the
I
upper
know.
echelon. I think somebody
I
had him
know.
ranked 3 today
Yeah, I
in
saw
all of
that.
football,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I know.
where are we right now? 2025
I
is
know.
weird.
I
This
know.
is awesome. I love it.
I
Let's just hang
know.
out here
I
for a
did
while.
too. Tennessee will be in Houston. That wraps up the early games. The late games will be Indianapolis at the Rams, Jacksonville and San Francisco,
How about Daniel
Baltimore.
Jones, though? How about
Wow, I
Danny
know.
Dimes?
I
Indiana
know.
Jones. That man,
Okay. What's
unbelievable.
more? Wait. What's more impressive? What's more? What's getting more notoriety? Daniel Jones and his performance, or a female owner actually getting involved on the sidelines?
Yeah, I saw that report today, and I'm like, you know what? She's the owner. Let her do it. I mean, she's the owner.
Yeah,
Let her do whatever she wants to do.
I'm
But
like,
man,
it's like,
I'm gonna tell you, this is a very similar, and I think Daniel Jones has the benefit of having Jonathan Taylor. I think that's
yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's having a resurgence as well. But man, this Colts team, they look good. They look real good. And Daniel Jones, maybe he just needed a new
Change
place.
your scenery. Yeah,
It happened with Baker Mayfield, right? Baker
yeah.
goes to Cleveland, doesn't do that great, goes to Carolina, fails, goes to LA for that prove it deal, and ends up getting signed with the Bucks. And now this is his home. They got to sign Baker to as long as they possibly can because
No, 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 no
This is
question about.
Baker's town now. So again, we've seen it happen in the NFL before, and Daniel Jones is just another example of maybe new face or a different place, same face kind of situation.
And the one person that's feeling the effects of it, Anthony Richardson, sitting on the bench. Jacksonville will be at San Francisco. Baltimore will be at Kansas City, who is 1-2 on the year. Who would have ever thought of that? The Bears will be at the Raiders. Sunday night, the Packers will be at Dallas. Then 2 games on Monday night. Jets at Miami, Cincinnati at Denver, and that's where we'll wrap up week 4 in the National Football League. I've been on this thing for 2 hours, so let me wrap it up real quick with you. Final thoughts. Oh, that's cute. I like that.
That's my hound dog. That's my hound dog, Chewy.
That is so cute.
Yeah, he's only a year old, but he's 86 pounds. Crazy.
Wow, that is amazing. Final thoughts from you.
Okay.
Final thoughts from you.
Yeah, I'll make it quick because I know I've talked a lot. Animal, it is so good to catch up with you, brother. We got to do this more often. I'm so sorry the schedule has been so crazy, but man, it's going to be a great week for football. I think if you're a college football fan, this is a fantastic week for you. I think if you're an NFL fan, this is a great week for you, especially if you're a Bucks fan. This matchup this week, I think, is maybe not going to tell where the teams end up at the end of the year, but I think it's a good starting point. You know, if you remember the year they won the Super Bowl in 2002, they went to Philadelphia during the regular season and ended up getting beat up pretty bad. And then, you know, of course, they come back to Philadelphia in the NFC title game, turn it around and win to move on to the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying the same thing could happen, but it is a good measuring stick to see where you are. You've got to put the respect on the Eagles' name. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. They have a lot of weapons. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and, of course, Saquon Barkley. Now, I think the Bucs have been really good at stopping the run, so that's going to be a big deal. But I'm excited, man. This is a good week for football. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think if you're not a football fan after this weekend, check your pulse, man, because there's a lot that's going to take place this weekend that's really good.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Who the heck is that guy right there? That tall kid right there behind you?
The tall kid behind me, that's my brother.
Oh, okay. I thought that was your son. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a notice from his lawyer that he can't be on any video live, so we gotta.
Okay.
No, I'm playing. That's a joke.
There you go. Hey, listen to me. You're welcome to come on anytime. Okay.
Yes,
so all you gotta do is ping me. I love to have you on. You're great. You provide great analysis, and brother, I appreciate you. It's been a while. Don't stay away. Okay, please. You're welcome back anytime.
Well, absolutely, man. And I'm finishing up my broadcasting degree from Full Sail University. I'm in my junior year, so I graduate in 2027. And I'm actually doing some work with some esports right now, doing some sports casting. So we're getting into it, man, and it's been a fun journey. But Animal, as always, dude, I love being able to come on here and talk sports with you. And even if we don't always agree on stuff, the best part about where we live and who we are is whether we agree or not, we can look at each other and say, I love you, bro. I appreciate you. And even though you're doing that Gators chomp, it's a big roll tide back to you, buddy. And I love you. I appreciate you.
I love you too, man. Listen, again, you're welcome to come back and join me anytime. I appreciate it. God
Yes,
bless
sir.
you, and take care of that family of yours, okay?
Yes, sir. We'll
Thanks
see
a
you.
lot. Bye-bye. James Ludeman joining me on this edition of Half Full Cup of Joe. I've been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes. I'm so glad you guys have stayed with me. I want to thank Loren Meadows and Ron Brown joining me. Of course, James Ludeman for joining me as well. I want to send out a special happy birthday to David Soderquist, who joined me last week. Again, David, thank you so much, and we hope to have David back on. Now, we're going to be back on next Thursday as we get ready for the game this weekend against Texas. There will not be a show the following week as I'm going to be on vacation with the lovely one, but we'll be back probably the week after that. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Take care. God bless. I always say that if you're not a Gator, you're primed to be Gator bait. Good night, and God bless.
Thanks for joining Joe Fulford on Half Full and a Cup of Joe. Don't forget to tune in next time for more football talk, analysis, and fun. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Half Full and a Cup of Joe. And remember, always keep your cup half full and your team spirit full. See you next time.